my name is Miles Adler, and I am the CEO of Mountain Rail Partners Incorporated, a consulting firm that consults municipalities on bringing light and heavy rail solutions to those municipalities along the Front Range of Colorado and hopefully further beyond. The most fascinating thing about trains to me really is the history of rail in this country. Everything from the really a resource extraction motivated, way to get goods and services out of a lot of economies that really built this country, and in particular in Colorado, systems like the Denver Rio Grande Western that not only transported goods and resources, but also people to these very, very remote mountain towns. And I think that the other part of trains that fascinates me is simply the economy of scale that they can offer in helping us meet our climate goals as both a nation and a state. The answer to the question, cars versus trains versus planes, is frankly high-speed rail. I think that this country has significantly fallen behind, especially to our near-peer counterparts, that in East Asia as well as Western Europe and even parts of Eastern Europe. And even the Indian subcontinent. India has done a great job in really coming to the modern age when it comes to high-speed rail infrastructure. I think that Americans don't really quite understand, again, what we had and what we can have. And I think this is really exemplified in California's efforts to create high-speed rail. The California High-Speed Rail Initiative, or California High-Speed Rail Authority, is really making on a state level what should be done on the national level, where they ask the voters, do you want high-speed rail at this capacity, at this track speed with these capabilities? The taxpayers said yes, they're doing it. And what they're running into now is they're running into the resistance that I think that people in the 1990s, when they voted for this initiative, knew would come. From the automobile lobbies and from the airline lobbying efforts. And I think that once California gets their high-speed rail network operational, they're really starting in the Central Valley, and they're going down to Los Angeles, all the way up to Sacramento and even to San Diego. Once people see that system in its final iteration, I think that every other state in this country will say, hey, that is a system that is able to move people efficiently, it is able to move people cleanly, and it is able to absolutely slash my constituents' transportation budgets, which is a very, very important factor that I don't think people are talking about when they talk about high-speed rail and how it relates to a nationally provided service versus an individual solution that the taxpayer needs to be 100% on the hook on their own for, right? We talk about monthly budgets. Transportation is a huge part of that, and especially near places where I live now, there are significant amounts of people who can't necessarily afford to maintain an automobile. It takes up an astronomical amount of their budget compared to somebody with a higher paying middle class or even lower middle class job. And so I think that once people see high-speed rail networks come to their final iteration, I think that every other state in this country is going to say, hey, we want some of that too. We want federal funding and grants for that. Even if it's just a very, very small city pair, they're going to say, look, this is doing a lot more than any flying or automobile-based solution can be or can do. And it is frankly the perfect solution to a great problem that we're facing, both on the climate side and on the transportation solution side. People should choose trains because of big train energy. Big train energy is frankly when you have the capacity to move people by light and heavy rail and to have an integrated public transportation network that is not car dependent. That is what we at the company like to call big train energy, and that needs to come all across the Front Range in Colorado. Colorado's Front Range has been identified as a viable rail corridor everywhere from Cheyenne, Wyoming down to Pueblo, Colorado, and even further expansions into Trinidad with the existing part of the Southwest Chief. Walsenburg, a community that desperately needs rail connectivity, and into Raton, Santa Fe, and Albuquerque, New Mexico. All communities that have part of the big train energy equation with the Roadrunner service, but could have bigger train energy with Front Range Rail. I think the most important thing for investors to understand is that we are in the super duper early phases, and that is the technical term, of investment. And so what we're looking for right now is we're looking for a very, very humble investment of only $20 million to bring all of the rest of the staff on, to bring some of the resources that we need to bear, the modeling software, to hire architects, artists, and to really grow out from just 3 guys in my mom's basement to the marketing firm and the consulting firm that I know we can be.